Good evening and welcome to the Perry Athletic Complex as the Jayettes host the Nevada Cubs in tonight's softball matchup. Before we begin, we are proud to recognize a special occasion, Military and First Responders Appreciation Night. Tonight we honor the brave men and women who serve and protect our country and our communities. From members of the armed forces to local police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and other responders. These heroes sacrifice their time, safety, and comfort so that we can enjoy the freedoms and security we have today. We also recognize the families who stand behind them, the spouses, the children, the parents, and the loved ones who support and make their service possible. At this time, we ask all active duty military members, veterans, and first responders in attendance to stand and be honored.
Chief of Police and Perry, Jim Archer, as he was the assistant chief for quite a while, but he assumed the lead role back in November of 2024.
We thank you for your service. And now we're honored to invite our special guest onto the field for tonight's ceremonial first pitches. Our first ceremonial pitch is Chief of Police Jim Archer.
Spent time in the National Guard.
Jim currently serves as Chief of Police for the Perry Police Department, a role he assumed in November 2024 following his tenure as Assistant Chief. With over 3 decades of law enforcement experience, Chief Archer has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to public safety, professional development, and community engagement. Chief Archer began his law enforcement career in 1994 with the Harlem Police Department before joining the Perry Police Department in 2000. He quickly rose through the ranks, earning a promotion to sergeant in 2003. Over the years, he has served several specialized roles, including defense tactics instructor, drug recognition expert, and field training officer, reflecting his dedication to both officer training and public service. A graduate of Iowa Lakes Community College, Chief Archer holds an Associate in Applied Sciences degree awarded in 1996. He's deeply rooted in the Perry community, where he lives just outside the city with his wife Ruth. Together they have 4 adult children, Seth, Devin, Chase, and Reese.
But Megan McGaffin has been on a tear this season. She's hitting .455 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs through the first 3 games. So the team is having a tremendous campaign against out. She's also the team's starting catcher, so she's been doing quite well for this Cubs team.
Our second ceremonial pitch is First Sergeant Tanya Peterson.
Over 400 through the first handful of games. Perry's led by Pete Erickson.
Tanya Peterson began her journey with the Iowa Army National Guard in 1999 at just 17 years old. Over the course of her distinguished 23-year military career, she mastered a wide range of skills and trades, serving as parts clerk, water purification specialist, fueler, mechanic, and eventually in administrative roles. Tanya completed 2 tours into Iraq and underwent numerous schools and extensive training programs. Reflecting on her time in the service, she calls it the best experience of her life. Now retired, Tanya is focusing on life beyond the uniform, devoting more time to herself and her family. She's a proud mother of Harper Peterson, current Jayette softball player, daughters Haley and Hannah Peterson. They are Jayette alum. Tonight we're honored to recognize Sergeant First Class, retired Tanya Peterson, and Chief of Police Jim Archer for their years of dedication, service, and sacrifice.
Now her problem has been walks this year. She has surrendered 12 walks on the season, 6 earned runs. That's a 4.5. As you take a look at things, she's also a lefty, so that could be a little bit of a funky look for the Jayettes tonight. We'll see how it affects them as they get ready for a very busy week. They play tonight.
Okay, let's meet the starters for the game tonight.
Friday and Saturday.
First, the visitors from Nevada. Shortstop, number 1, Jory Hillman. Second base, number 5, Nicole Rittrig. Third base, number 28, Jaden Malone. Catcher, number 6, Megan McGaffin. Left field, number 11, Addison Good. Center field, number 8, Isla Martins. Right field, number 7, Brent Crane. Pitcher, number 12, Tempe Cartwright. First base, number 15, Olivia Huff. And now the starters for your Jayettes. Leading off, center field, number 9, Kate Erickson.
Again, I'm going to have to pause it for the national anthem so I can play it on my phone.
Number 8, Aiden Erickson. Our catcher, number 13, Kerrigan Welchel. Shortstop, number 5, Callie Welchel. Our pitcher, number 4, Tina Canelli. In left field, number 1, Taryn Nehring. At first base, number 10, Kate Shuttler. Designated player, number 12, Lily Hollingsworth. At second base, number 2, Hannah Peterson. Harper Peterson. Third base, flex player, number 6, Addie Perks.
It's all right.
Will you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem? Leading off for debate, number 1, Jordy Hillman.
I didn't ask anybody how to pronounce it.
And then we have Pearson at second, Shuttler at first base, and behind the plate is Kerrigan Welchel, and Neely wasted no time, going to help with the first pitch, and it crosses the heart of the plate for a strike. Josie Hillman stepping into the batter's box, the shortstop, swinging that pitch number 2. She's going to foul it down the left field line for strike number 2. Hillman had a big game when Perry saw them to open up the season last year. A game that saw Nevada score 8 runs. Hillman had a home run in that. Heading the count to Neely. 0-2. She'll rock and fire. The pitch is going to be called low. 0-2 pitch. They're going to get Hillman to chase it. Who's batting .375 is the sophomore. Neely taking her time to get back on the rubber, working against the right-handed pitcher. She'll fire it home, up, out in the outfield. Kate Erickson running back, and she'll get underneath it. That's short of the warning track for out number 1. So first batter is retired at 8.
Now batting number 5, Nicole Whittrey.
The Jayettes do a good job of limiting the leadoff batter. Now stepping up, Nicole Whitworth, junior, second baseman. Left-handed swinger. Here comes the first pitch from Keneally. It will be just a tad outside, called a ball. Whitworth looking like one of your typical left-handed slap hitters with really good speed. See if she looks to lay down a bunt here as Perks plays in. She's going to foul this one down the third baseline, and it's going to be on the just short there, and it's going to be a foul ball as the head coach for the Cubs, Corey Barloon, knocked that one down in the coach's box. Count is 1-1. Keneally gets back in the circle. She'll rock and fire off the pitch that time, and swinging through it is Whitworth. She's now behind in the count 1-2. Keneally now ahead of the count. She can be aggressive or she can take her time. She's got a couple pitches to play with here. Again, not much of a strikeout pitcher so far through 13 innings, only collecting 2. 1-2, she'll come home with it. It's going to be a little low and outside. Count evens up at 2-2 to the 2-bagger. Nicole Whitworth. Neely comes home with it, goes high. Trying to get Whitworth to chase something. No luck that time. And the count runs full. Last thing you want to do is walk the batter after you had them with 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Whitworth spoils this one back, and she'll stay on line.
Come on, Tina.
See if Keneally can put her away here. Something hit on the infield. They're going to have to play fast with the good speed of the junior in the box. The left-handed sweeper's ready for this pitch. Ooh! For a strike, and that's going to be the first K of the game. Good pitch, just catching the low outside corner there. And that will send Jaden Menlo to the back.
Now batting number 28, Jaden Mellon.
Mellon batting just .222 on the year. So she's a power hitter, and she'll swing through the first pitch. Maybe been a little rolling outside. Head in the count now is Keneally, and she took something off that one. Mellon, a right-handed power hitter, is in the box. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be low, bounces before the plate, evens up at 1-1. Parks playing just one step back of the third base bag. Shuttler playing in front of the first base bag. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball out to left field. And that is out number 3.
After the top of the first
Still
inning,
no score. We'll go to the bottom of the
No
first.
score.
Here on the Rankin Valley
Parry
Radio
0,
Sports
Parry
Network.
0.
I had 2 base hits in the first
Leading
game of
off
the season
the bottom of the
against
first for the
Green County.
Jayettes,
She scored the lone
number
run
9,
in
Kate
that
Erickson.
game. Kate Erickson coming
Nobody
off
appreciates
a
my enthusiasm.
strong soccer campaign for Coach Cesar Hernandez in his first year. Kate Erickson was honorable mentions, all part of Iowa Conference. Here comes the first pitch. It's going to be high
I
and
never
easy.
worked in
Erickson.
safety twice.
I screen record the game and then put it on YouTube, and it wasn't working. I had to do like 3 times, and I could always hear you tapping your pen. And I was like, hey, it's not me. Like, it was like that all the time. I was like, somebody's gonna say, Nate, stop it.
Sophomore,
This is
like you said,
random.
has been wild this season. One of the biggest bugaboos against her has been the walks. Jayettes will love a leadoff walk as Kate Erickson's ahead in the count, 2-0. She's swinging at this one, but she fouls it straight back, 2-1.
Why does it do that?
It's going to be just barely fouled for strike number 2. So Erickson's going to have to come back to the batter's box and have to protect now.
Sorry, everybody. Stream's being stupid.
So the Jayettes seem to be doing a good job of seeing pitches so far through the first couple of hitters. They put some good swings together, and they've been able to take some balls. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, blocking and firing, looking to find the outside corner, and Erickson's going to foul this one back as Eden stays alive. Fouling off back-to-back pitches here. Good-sized crowd here at Perry tonight. The left bleachers are completely full. Carson comes home with this one. The 1-2, and it rolls to the plate. An easy take that time for Aiden, and that evens up at 2-2. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Still no score.
If you're listening, I understand that the live stream is being iffy. I don't know how to fix that.
Carson trying to match her. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and Aiden does a good job of just fouling that one straight back. Putting together a good at-bat right here. Is the Perry right fielder. She's been on a lot of them, just foul them straight back. 1 out, bottom first. Here comes the pitch, 2-2. Floats over the head of Erickson. It's an easy take, and things are now full. 3-2 count.
Just gonna be focused on the live stream, making sure it's not
Tarzan
being
gets
stupid again.
back in the circle, and she's ready to come home with the pitch. She'll rock and fire. And Eden Erickson chases one high, and she'll strike out swinging.
Now batting number 13, Kerrigan Welchel.
Would have been a ball 4, instead it's a strikeout. Stepping in now is the Jayettes catcher, 3-hole hitter. Here comes the first pitch from Karsha. It is high and easy take that time. Kerrigan Welchel in the batter's box, the right-handed swinger. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Taken right down. All right, it looked like a good pitch, but we're going to call it a ball. Interesting. Must have no plans later on tonight if we're going to be calling pitches like that a ball. But hey, we'll take it for Perry. Kerrigan ahead in the count 2-0. She can be passive here if she wants to be, and this one's going to roll to the plate. So Kerrigan now ahead in the count 3-0. She can be super picky now. 2. So Kerrigan will reach on an 4-pitch walk.
Now batting number 5, Kelly Welchel.
And we'll see Callie step into the batter's box. Shortstop tonight for the Jayettes, batting 286, is the sophomore. I'm going to guess by the time this season's over, that average is going to be significantly higher, probably in the upper 300s. Here comes the first pitch to Callie. She'll take it for a strike.
Yeah.
Pitch was towards the lower part of the strike zone, and the umpire gave it to her that time as Karsrud moves ahead in the count 0-1. No one at third base playing even with the bag as Callie swings at this one, and it's popped back and out of play. So Perry shortstop's going to have to choke up a little bit here and try and put this one into play with the roller assist with Kerrigan standing on first base after the walk with 2 outs. Karsrud, left-handed pitcher, gets back on the rubber. She'll rock and fire. Callie swings, pops it up, and it's going to be just off the faded dugout and out of play. Huff thought she might have a chance to run that one down. Maybe if the dugouts and the fence were another 10 feet back, she would have been able to run that one down. But instead, it's just going to be a foul ball, and we'll do 0-2 again. Karsrud's already struck out with 1 in this inning. That was Aiden Erickson, the Perry right fielder. Allie's taking her time in the back box. Right-handed swinger getting comfortable. Karsrud back on the rubber. She'll rock and fire. Throws it over the heart of the plate, and Callie puts a good swing on this one as it goes down the first base line up foul. Count remains 0-2. Callie continues to battle.
I'm optimistic with a bad pitcher, but I'm nervous for.
Second team all-conference for Callie last year. She has eyes on doing something better than that. North Bay Vetters first team. Here comes the 0-2 from Karsrud. That time. Same thing to get Callie to chase something up above the letters. There's letters tonight for the Jayettes. And Jayettes across the chest and blue font with the black jerseys. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to bounce before it gets to the dirt. Kerrigan's going to run down to second base. She slides in, and the tag will not be made. They call that a wild pitch, allowing her to advance as Karsrud has struggled a couple of times just bouncing pitches to the catcher, McGaffrey. No chance for Dick Kerrigan that time. Count evens up at 2-2 after the ball. Base hit, give Perry the lead. Callie swinging at this one. It's going to drop in front of the right field. He dives for it and gets fired. Kerrigan comes from second base to score. Callie's going to end up at second. She rounds it, and she'll get the third. Standing up. Nice thing to be right for the Jayettes, and they have their first goal of the game. They picked it early. One up in lead.
Try and get it in this.
Yeah.
And then number 4, Tina
Kenneally's going to
Keneally.
have a chance to help herself out. Another base hit could give Perry a 2-run lead. Crane was running in on that one. She dove for it. Really didn't come up too close to making a play. It got by her, and that meant Callie could take third base. First pitch to Keneally, rocking and firing. It is high for a ball. Count is 1-0. Jayettes were able to score. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. This one bounced before it gets to McGaffin. She does a good job of keeping it in front of her. If she doesn't, maybe Callie's able to score on the wild pitch. Instead, the count moves to 2-0 to Keneally. Again, a base hit would be big here. Here comes the 2-0. Karsrud rocks and fires. Keneally swings. It's going to be a line drive to Whitley at second base. She'll make the play with 2 hands.
At the end of the first inning,
1 hit, 1 run.
Debate
1
out,
runner left on base.
0,
Jayettes
Perry,
lead
1.
1-0 here on the right. We will see.
Now batting for the
Megan
Cubs.
McGaffin.
Number 6, Megan McGaffin.
Isla Martin, if anyone can reach. Bryn Crane comes to the batter. Right-handed swinger, Megan McGaffin steps into the box with an open stance, batting right-handed. First pitch from Keneally is going to be blowing in the dirt for a ball. You have to be careful with that front foot. It's nearly out of the batter's box there. She makes contact with the ball. She'll be out as she swings at the 1-0 pitch. It's a ground ball to Keneally. She'll field it. Fire to the center at first base for number 1. One of the problems for the Jayettes in the game against Green County.
Now batting number 11, Addison Girls.
Squibs like that. in between the pitcher and the third baseman. Get the out number 1 right there. 1-3 on the putout as Good steps in. First pitch from Keneally. She throws it by Good for strike 1. 1 out here in the top of the second. Batting .364 through the first couple of games is Good. Keneally's pitch, swinging at this one. Out to center field. Kate Erickson racing in, and this one drops just before the dirt. Out in center field. Erickson had a lot of ground to make up there. She's just going to get there. And where Harper Peterson was playing at second base, more towards right field, she wasn't able to get underneath that one. So that's going to be our first hit of the game for the Cubs. Martin steps in, another right-handed swinger for the Cubs. She's swinging at the first pitch, and she's going to be too early that time. As Keneally moves ahead in the count, 0-1. Martin batting .455 to start the season. Keneally's 0-1 pitch is going to be low and outside. Things even up at 1-1. Good getting a healthy secondary lead over at first base. They might be looking to send her here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung through a fastball that time as Keneally got her to chase the ball. 1-2. As Keneally getting back on the rubber. She's working quickly here. With 1 out in the second inning. Working against Martin. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a line drive but foul down the first base line as the count remains 1-2.
What is up with this? It's ridiculous.
Good on first base, who hit a
do that
single
every 2
up the
seconds.
middle. Swinging at this one, ground ball to Perks. Perks is going to fire to first base. And they just barely get Martin that time.
She didn't know what she was doing that.
Perks fielded the ball.
Now batting number 7,
She
Brittany
took her
Crane.
time. She half thought about throwing to second. By the time she threw it to first, she just barely beat Martin for out number 2. It's going to be fouled back. Showed bunt very late that time and just didn't get the bat head down to get in the ball and keep it fair. So Keneally moves ahead in the count 0-1. Standing on second now is Good. Here comes the pitch from Keneally, showing bunt for half a second and pulling it back. It's called a ball outside. The count evens up at 1-1. Crane, the junior right fielder, showing bunt, and she'll foul this one back. See if she still wants to try and bunt the ball. Now down 1-2 in the count with 2 outs in the inning. Makes it big to get a hit in the outfield here to give the runner on second a chance to score. Keneally's 1-2 is going to bounce before it gets to the plate. It also ends up in the right-handed batter's box. So no reason for Crane to swing that time or even think about it. Evens things up at 2-2. Keneally already has 1 strikeout tonight. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be high and called a ball, so now it's 3-2. So Keneally was ahead in the count 1-2. Now it's 3-2. With the 8-hole hitter on deck.
Yeah.
This one is she can't catch up with the fastball that time. So after 1 hit, 1 left on
the second
base,
inning.
no score.
They made it 0, carry
Jayettes
1.
lead one spring sports season where she played soccer and track and field. Here comes the first pitch from Karsra. It is high and no chance for Nehring to think about swinging at that
Unless
one.
it's right down the middle, you just watch it.
Count is 1-0. Nehring are part of the distance medley team that qualified for state and ultimately finished in 15th place. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Karsra. It's low and in the dirt. It is now 2-0. Nehring can take the. Here comes the 2-0. High. An easy take for Nehring.
She gets on, she should
3-0. We'll
Yes.
see if Coach Olenzak wants to give her the green light here. We'll have to get a leadoff runner on with some speed, and Nehring would be such that if she can reach. Cartwright's 3-0 pitch. It's going to be high and easy to take. And that will be ball 4.
Now batting number 10, Kate Shuttler.
Kate Shuttler's going to step in. She had a single and an RBI in the win over Sadell. Just an 8th grader for this Perry team. Low numbers.
Go, Taryn, go.
For Perry softball in 2025. First pitch is going to be low and called the ball. So that's 5 straight balls thrown by Carswell.
The pitcher can barely throw it to the pitcher.
Standing on first is Nehring. Let's see if they want to try a steal here. As that's now 6 straight balls as the right-handed swinger Shuttler gets back in the ball. Here comes the 2-0 from Carsrud. It's high and over the eyes of Shuttler, so that's ball number 3. We mentioned in 8 2/3 innings coming into tonight, 12 walks have been surrendered by Carsrud.
There's no reason to steal.
She's behind in the count 3-0, already walking 2 batters in this game, and this one bounces before the plate, and that is ball 4. That's 8 straight balls thrown by the softball.
Is that Lily?
Yeah.
Batting for the Jayettes, number 12, Lily
She's going to
Hollingsworth.
come out and talk to her sophomore pitcher here, trying to calm her down, give her a chance to breathe. Only one of those 8 pitches was even remotely close to the strike zone. So without a hit so far this inning, Perry has runners on first and second. They haven't even had to take the bat off their shoulders here. Sophomore right-handed hitter steps in, and she'll take the first pitch for a ball. Now 9 straight balls thrown.
It's like watching
And the first person to swing here.
worse than middle school.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Carsrud. She'll catch to the outside corner, and that will even things up at 1-1. So Hollingsworth, designated player. I always love doing it in high school baseball. This pitch is going to be high. She doesn't have to think about swinging this one. As it goes off the glove of McGaffrin, both runners are going to be able to advance. Base hit could give the Jayettes 2 runs now. Counts 2-1 after the pass ball. Hit the 2-1 pitch. This one is going to be called strike. Look to be off the outside part of the plate. Umpire gives it to Carsrud though to even it up at 2-2.
Still watching? Still watching?
Hopefully,
Still not
get
swinging.
that call
No,
when
she has swinged, just
he's
strikes.
in the circle. Hollingsworth,
Doesn't play.
2-2 count. This one's going to be low and in the dirt, and it's going to be full 3-2.
Make her throw 2 in a row.
So you got to protect your Lily.
She can throw 3 strikes in a row.
Runners on second. Over walks. Here comes the full count pitch. Hollingsworth swings through it, and she'll strike out.
Now batting number 2, Harper Peterson.
That's going to bring the freshman Harper Peterson to the box, the Jayette second baseman. Still looking for her first hit of the year. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Runners on third and second. First pitch to Peterson is going to be low and outside, called a ball. Peterson, part of the swimming team in the fall that qualified for state in the relays.
This will be a long.
She's ahead in the count 1-0. And this pitch is going to be high over the catch of McGaffin, and Nehring's going to race home and slide in and be safe. Jayettes lead 2-0. After the wild pitch leads to a run. And it also allows Shuttler to take third. Peterson's ahead in the count 2-0. One out in the inning. First baseman playing in front of the bag. That's tough. Even at the bag is the third baseman Melvin.
Gosh,
Hillman
they're playing on Friday too.
playing in the baseline there at short. Peterson swings at this one. It's going to be a fly ball out towards center field. Hillman's going to go back and make the play, and Shuttler's not going to be able to tag. So that out works out perfectly for the Cubs.
Number 9, Kate Erickson.
We'll go back to the top of the order. Kate Erickson getting her second at-bat of the game. She popped up to the shortstop out in short left field back in the first inning. Base hit here could mean an
The
RBI.
stadiums are back to back, so I'll be able to hear everything.
Oh yeah.
South Hamilton
Third
are right next to
baseman
each other.
Mellon still plays even at the back. First baseman in
It's the
front
only
of the
place where
back.
they're like that.
Left-handed pitcher Carsred comes home with the pitch. Kate Erickson tries to bunt a high pitch, and it's going to be a foul ball.
She did that last game too. If she missed
Count
it.
is 0-1 to the.
And then Aiden was on base and made fun of her.
Perry would love a hit here to get another run.
Eight.
Here comes the 0-1 to Kate. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and the pitch is going to be high for a ball. Evens up at 1-1. Shuttler needs to be on her toes over at third base with all these wild pitches we've seen thrown by Carsred. Might be able to steal on another wild pitch, steal a run. Here comes the 1-1. Showing bunt is Erickson. And she's going to miss this one as the pitch was low. And it's now 1-2. Erickson's going to need to choke up here to try and stay alive. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Perry already stretched one run across the plate off no hits. Here comes the 1-2. This one rolls to the plate. Easy take for Erickson. And McGaffin keeps it in front of her and won't allow Shuttler to advance. 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Perry's already scored 1 run without a hit. Carsred comes home with the pitch. He'll rock and fire, and it's inside for a ball. Counts now full, 3-2. Gonna just try and spoil it here for Kate if it's close. As Carsred gets back on the rubber, she'll come home with the pitch. It's inside on her, and she'll just foul this one back, and McGaffin cannot get back there to make the play. And Erickson will stay alive right here. She put together a good at-bat back in the first inning, but ultimately popped it up to the shortstop.
It always cuts off.
A lot of room out in right center.
Counts.
And she can send the ball that way. She can be running for a little bit. Here comes the 3-2 to Kate Erickson. She swings through it, and she'll strike out.
At the end of the second inning,
Gain a run off no
Cubs
hits. 1
0,
run on base.
Jayettes 2.
Jayettes lead 2-0 here on the Rocky Mountain Radio Sports Network. It's 2-0
Leading off the top of the third
as we
inning,
go to the top
number
of the third
12,
inning.
Tempe Carsred.
We'll see the Nevada pitcher step in, Tempe Carsred, then Olivia Huff. Jory Hillman will return things to the top of the order. If anyone can reach, we'll see Whitley. The left-handed swinger
Yeah.
will take the first pitch, and Keneally hits the outside corner for strike 1. So Keneally getting ahead in the count to her counterpart. Something her counterpart hasn't been able to do. Second pitch swinging is Carsred. She tries to leg this one out. It's a ground ball to Peterson at second. Fires over to first base to Shuttler, and that is out number 1.
Is that 15?
Olivia Huff will step in.
Now batting number 15, Olivia Huff.
Batting just 143 is the sophomore. Right-handed batter. Here comes the first pitch from Keneally.
Pitch.
It will cross the plate and be called a strike. 0-1. Already 1 out here in the top of the third. Keneally putting up zeros through the first 2 innings. Second pitch of the at-bat, just going to get off the plate. Kerrigan tried to frame it, but the umpire was going to give Perry the call.
Kerrigan's mad that she's 1 for 5 so far.
Up steps in, swinging at this one. Ground ball to
Up,
Kelly
Callie.
at short. She'll field it cleanly. Fires over to first base for out number 2. 6-3 on the put-out.
Now batting number 1, Jory Hillman.
We roll over to the top of the order, and Jory Hillman, the shortstop, will step in. She flew out to center field the first go-around. Keneally connected on 2 strikeouts the first time through the order.
Oh!
First
Oh, yeah,
pitch
he
to
called it.
Hillman,
Okay.
walks and fires, catches the outside
He's not
corner.
calling.
Ahead of the count is Keneally
That,
0-1.
they're not going to throw strikes.
Firing strikes this inning. That's what we haven't seen the Beta be able to do. Getting ahead of hitters is important in this game. Hillman
shit.
swinging at this one, fly ball out to left.
Taryn.
Nehring steps in, but now she's got to go back. She'll run this one down for out number 3. Good swing that time by Hillman, but Nehring was
Middle
able
of
to
the third
pick
inning.
up some ground,
Cubs 0,
get underneath it.
Jayettes 2.
Lane Cali
Leading
welcome
off the
to
bottom of the
batter's
third
box.
inning,
Here in our third
number
inning,
8, Aiden Erickson.
Reach Tina Keneally. Aiden Erickson struck
That
out
last
back in our first
inning
inning.
was 2, 3, 7 pitches.
Tarsrud has been able to strike
Last inning
out
was only
the
7
Jayettes. Check that, make it 4. First time through the order, those 3. Aiden shows bunt at the first pitch. She'll pull it back for ball 1. As the junior moves ahead in the count, 1-0.
That's the third.
Tarsrud gets back on the rubber. She'll rock and fire. Showing bunt is Erickson. She'll pull it back for ball 2. Counts now 2-0. Tarsrud wild tonight.
How did they blow out 2 teams? I don't understand.
Who did he?
4 walks. Check that, 3 walks so far.
yeah,
And
no,
she'll
somebody
throw
else.
both Aiden Erickson here. Now ahead in the count 3-0. Maybe that's just foreshadowing.
Southampton and somebody. I don't think it was a conference game.
Coming for the Jayettes.
But I looked, it was like
Aiden ahead
we
in
were
the
2
count,
teams up and they
3-0.
blown out by 2 teams. They lost 16
Here
to
comes
0 in
the
the
pitch.
last one.
Crosses the heart of the plate, called a strike, counts now 3-1. See how aggressive Eden wants to be. She can still take her time. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball out to center field. It's right to Martin, who steps in, steps back, makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting for the Jayettes, number 13, Kerrigan Welchel.
So much nicer that the speaker inside of here, isn't it?
Who walked back in the first inning and scored our first run of the game. Each team has 1 hit so far. Yet Perry has 2 runs to show for it. Here comes the first pitch to Kerrigan. Catches the inside corner. Counts 0-1. Can't blame the Jayettes for taking a pitch until they get a strike with how wild the sophomore's been in the rubber. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to be off the plate and out in the left-handed batter's box. And it evens up at 1-1 to Kerrigan. Tarsrud comes home with the pitch. It is high and goes over the head of
How
McGaffin.
many over?
Ball
Been
number
10 over
2.
her head?
Gaffin's getting a workout
At least 6.
tonight with how
But she hasn't caught over her head?
Jumping
Or just,
up,
like-
Totally,
sliding
totally.
underneath,
Oh.
things in front of her, going
Yeah, at
left
least
and
6.
right. Here comes the 2-1 to Kerrigan Welchel. She'll swing,
That's
line
high.
drive out to center field, and it's going to go off the glove of Martin, and Kerrigan will reach.
Now batting number 5, Callie Welchel.
Kerrigan will reach there. An error or single?
Single.
Hit.
Yep.
Official score is going to call that one a hit.
Yeah, it means something got to move too fast. I'm
And
telling you, these
Kerrigan Welchel
major
will be
league games
1
are
for 1 in
crazy.
this game as Callie steps in. Pitch to Callie's going to be low and in the dirt. Counts 1-0. Wasn't enough in the dirt for Kerrigan to advance there, so she's still standing on first base. Tarsrud gets back on the rubber. She'll rock and fire.
Dang.
Callie swings at it. Ground ball to Hillman at short. She'll fire to the second baseman Whitrig, and we'll get the leadoff runner that time. So they're not able to turn the double play.
Now batting number
They get
4,
the lead
Tina
runner there.
Keneally.
So Keneally will come to the batter's box after striking out in our first inning. Callie Welchel standing on first base after the ground out and fielder's choice. Here comes the first pitch. It's going to roll to the plate. They're going to fire to first base, and Callie just gets back in time.
She sees it roll. She should be
Yeah.
second.
So Keneally's ahead in the count 1-0. She didn't have to think about swinging at that pitch from Tarsrud. Here comes the 1-0 from the sophomore. It's going to be just low as Keneally takes it for a ball. Carson's thrown some good pitches at times right off the plate, but the umpire doesn't feel like giving it to her with how wild she's been at other times. And the 2-0 pitch bounces before it gets to the dish, and the count moves to 3-0 to Keneally. Keneally struck out back in the first inning, came into tonight's game hitting .286. She helped herself out with a double against Sadell, and she'll take 3-0 for a ball, and now put runners on second and first.
Now batting number 1, Taryn Nehring.
Fourth walk of the game as we sit here in the bottom of the third. Taryn Nehring steps into the batter's box. The senior walks back in the second and scored a run. Left-handed pitcher, Karja, comes home with the pitch over the heart of the plate, and Nehring takes it for a strike. In her first at-bat, Nehring saw 4 straight balls. She's behind in the count here in the third, 0-1. The left fielder for Perry gets comfortable in the box. Karja comes home, it's high, called the ball. Looking down at Coach Olenzak, getting some words of encouragement as Karsred will rock and fire. 1-1. This pitch is going to be high. Counts now 2-1. Cal Marshall's getting a big secondary lead there at second base. Darren McGaffin to fire the ball right back at her. Here comes the 2-1 to Nehring. Rocks and fires. The pitch is going to be low and in the dirt. 3-1. Kate Shuttler is standing on deck. The 8th grader walked back in our second inning. Nehring and a good hitter's count here, 3-1. Here comes the pitch.
Yes.
It's going to be outside for a ball, and Nehring walks in back-to-back plate appearances.
Now batting number 10, Kate Shuttler.
That's now back-to-back walks surrendered by Karza. And McGaffin's going to come out and talk with our pitcher here. About 6 earned runs coming into tonight. Shuttler steps in, the right-handed first baseman for Perry. Walked back in our second inning. She's got the bases loaded now. Here comes the first pitch. It is high for a ball. Counts 1-0. Shuttler got her first base hit in RBI in varsity competitions last Friday against Sadell. That was a big hit. She's ahead in the count here, 1-0. Here comes the pitch. She'll take it, and it's going to be called a strike. Evens up at 1-1. 2 outs, so if Shuttler can put something in play, all the runners are going to be taken off instantly. Here comes the 1-1. Shuttler swings, ground ball to short. Hillman fields it. She'll fire over to first base, and we'll get Shuttler by a couple of steps. 1 hit, 3 runners left on base.
At the end of 3 innings,
it's
made it 0, Perry.
We go to the top of the 4th.
Leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Cubs.
Go to the top
Number
of the
5,
4th. Keneally
Nicole
back down for
Richard.
another inning of work. She's only surrendered 1 hit so far in this one. Left-handed swinger, Nicole Whitworth comes into the batter's box, showing bunt. Ground ball to Keneally. She fires over to first base. 1 pitch, 1 out on the 1-3 putout.
Now batting number 28, Jaden Malone.
Is it Malone or
Now we'll
Melvin?
bring Mel into the batter's box here. First pitch to the right-handed swinger, ground ball down the third. Out to left field, Keneally gives up a single here to Mellon. She's going to try and take 2 as the ball went over the head of Nehring. And a bad throw into second base, and Mellon's going to end up at third. So that's going to put a runner on third base with just 1 out. So a double ends up with a runner on third after nobody's able to catch the ball at second base.
Now batting number 6,
McGaffin's gonna step in.
Megan McGaffin.
RBIs to lead this Nevada club through the first handful of games. First pitch from Keneally, swung through. It was a good pitch as McGaffin wasn't able to get a piece of it. Counts 0-1. Shuttler playing in front of the bag at first base. Perks playing in front of the bag at third base. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be just high and a cat outside. 1-1. Perry leads 2-0, but there is a runner on third base for Nevada here in the fourth inning. Keneally comes home with it. Fly ball out to Kate Erickson in center field. She's going to step back, get underneath it, and she'll come home with it for out number 2. And coming in to score will be Mellon. And the error comes back to hurt Peary as one run comes across right there on the fly out.
Now batting number 11, Addison Good.
Going to bring the junior Good to the batter's box, the left fielder. She had the first hit of the game for Nevada. First pitch to her, bounces before it gets to the plate, and Keneally falls behind 1-0. Hasn't done that a whole lot tonight. She's done a great job of firing strikes. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball out to right field. Aaron's going to run in, and this one's going to be foul. Drops in front of Nehring. Had a lot of ground to cover there. And this is just going to be a foul ball as it falls out in the foul territory grass. Counts out 1-1. Good came in hitting 364 for Nevada, and she'll chase the pitch outside that time. Count moves to 1-2. 2 outs here in the fourth inning. Keneally trying to find the outside corner. Swinging at the pitch is good, and she'll foul it back to spoil it. Count remains 1-2. 1-2 pitch. We do it again. Keneally gives up a hit up the middle. Callie Welch is going to try and run this one down, and she fields it, fires over to first, and it's going to be too late. So Good just has too good a speed that time.
Now batting number 8, Isla Martin.
Try just over the head of Keneally, and then it just died. And the shortstop, Callie Welch, will fielded it, and it was too late to get the runner at first. Second hit of the inning. Keneally comes home with the pitch to Martin. It's going to be outside for a ball. Count moves to 1-0. Martin, the right-handed swinger ahead in the count, swings at this one and will even it up at 1-1 as she fouls it straight back.
Hey, get out.
2 outs here in the fourth. Already one run has come across the plate. As Perry leads 2-1. Here comes the pitch, swinging through it that time is Martin. That's now 1-2, so a good pitch by Keneally that time. Runner on first is good. He reached on an infield single. Here comes the pitch to Martin. Keneally bounces it, and wisely laying off it that time is Martin. And the count moves to 2-2. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. Keneally rocks and fires. Pitch swung at. Line drive up the middle. Kate Erickson's going to knock it down. And we're now runners on first and second after back-to-back singles. Brayden Crane will come to the batter.
Now batting number 7, Bryn Crane.
She was a strikeout victim of Keneally back in the second inning with a couple runners on base. First pitch, grounded right back to Keneally. She fields it and fires to first base, and will get her out by a step. So Keneally fields her position that time, and the Jayettes get out of the inning.
Middle of the fourth inning.
1 run.
Cubs
2 runners
1.
left on base.
Jayettes
Perry leads 2-1 on the Rankin Valley Radio Sports Network.
Batting for the Jayettes, number 12, Lily Hollingsworth.
Lily Hollingsworth's going to be the first batter here in the fourth. Also coming to the dish will be Peterson and Kate Erickson. Here comes the first pitch from Tarja. She rocks and fires. Catches the outside corner for a strike. She moves ahead in the count 0-1. I'm sure she got a good talking to from head coach Barloon about throwing strikes. Seeing that this one is Hollingsworth. Ground ball to Hillman at shortstop. She'll fire to first, and we'll get Hollingsworth by a couple of steps.
Batting number 2, Harper Peterson.
Through the first couple of games, she did have 4 errors, but she's been able to make all the chances in this one so far. Might need to try a different sub out there defensively. Stepping in is Peterson. First pitch to her. Ground ball for a ball. That one rolled to the plate. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Peterson. This one is high for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. The freshman caught one of the ceremonial first pitches before tonight's game, as her mother, First Sergeant Tonya Peterson, was honored before the game. Third pitch of the AB rolls to the batter's box, and
just let go and
takes
like
Peterson.
really
Moves ahead in the count 3-0. The freshman popped up to the shortstop in her first go-around. She's ahead in the count here, 3-0 with 1 out. And this pitch bounces before the plate, and that will be a walk for the Jayettes.
Come on, Kate.
6 walks through the first 2 times through the order.
Kate.
Now batting number 9, Kate Erickson.
Kate Erickson will step in for Perry. She struck out in her last at-bat. Here comes the first pitch. Erickson takes it for a called strike as it's over the heart of the plate that time. Counts 0-1. Peterson standing on first base after the walk with 1 out. Kate Erickson, the batter's box, came into tonight's game hitting .286. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Cartwright. It's going to bounce before it gets to the plate. And Gaffin does a good job of knocking it down and not allowing Peterson to advance. Count evens up at 1-1 after the pitch in the dirt. The Perry center fielder takes pitch number 3 of the at-bat, and again it bounces before it gets to the plate. An easy take for Kate. Count moves to 2-1. Look for a pitch. The sophomore rocks and fires, bounces this one before it gets to the plate. Counts now 3-1. Kate's 0 for 2 in the game. She was 0 for in the win over Sadell. She had both of the Jayettes hits in the first game of the season against Green County. Here comes the 3-1. It's off the plate, and it's going to be called the ball. And that's back-to-back walks. And
now batting number 8, Aiden Erickson.
So Harper Peterson standing on second base. Standing on first base is Kate Erickson. And now we'll see Aiden Erickson step in.
No double play. Give Perry
Couple of Perry Jayette wrestlers. 1 on second, 1 on first, 1 in the batter's box. First pitch to Aiden. She sends a fly ball out to right center field. It gets down. Harper Peterson's going to be coming home. Coming to third is Kate. And she's going to be sent in. And it's
Job, Aiden!
Aiden Erickson found the gap in right center. And Perry has extended their lead to 3.
Now batting number 13, Kerrigan Welchel.
So a couple of runs for Perry, and Aiden Erickson did a great job of finding the gap in right center. Harper Peterson normally went back to tag at second, and then she had to get on her horse to get home before Kate Erickson lapped her. Stepping in now is Kerrigan Welchel. First pitch to Kerrigan's going to be low and in the dirt, 1-0. Kerrigan has a single back in the 3rd inning. She also walked in the 1st.
Who came in there?
A single here.
Harper and
Could be a RBI.
Kate was cooking.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Cartwright throws it in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0.
She's relying.
And Nevada wasn't looking for her either. They saw her come in and then they turned around and Kate already scored.
With a runner on second base, 2-0 pitch to Kerrigan. High and outside, called the ball. First base is open here.
That's a great hit. Perfect. To that same spot.
Erickson just drove in too with that double. Here comes the 3-0 to Kerrigan Welchel. Carsred comes home. It's high, call the ball, and it's a 4-pitch
Now
ball.
batting, number 5, Callie Welchel.
Callie stepping in now. And we're going to have the head coach of the Nevada Cubs coming out. That's Corey Barloon. See if they want to make a change here, if they're just going to talk about things.
We're off over there?
First and second, step in, who already has an RBI triple in this game. She's also grounded out to the shortstop. Carsred back on the rubber, she'll rock and fire. First pitch, just high.
They must not have any other pitchers.
One of the better pitches she's thrown tonight that's been called a ball.
Remember one time, 2 years ago, I think, Macy got tired and we took her out. And it was at Grandview Christian. We put Kerrigan in. She pitched a third of an inning and was like, nah, I'm done. Kerrigan's like, I'm never doing that again. Lydia also pitched once. But just once.
Here comes the pitch home. Rocking and fire is Carsred. It's in the dirt on the ball, 3-0.
He called that a strike in the first inning.
Well, this one actually hit the ground.
What?
This one actually hit the
Here,
ground.
look for the ball in a certain spot. If it's in the 4th inning, pitch bounces before it gets to the plate. It's a walk. Bases are loaded.
Now batting, number 4, Tina Keneally.
That's the
now we're
first walk
switching.
in this inning, and we might have a pitching change now. So we'll take a quick timeout. On the other side of the break, we'll let you know who's coming in.
Can't see the
Here on the
number.
Rankin Valley Radio Sports Network. Perry leads 4-1 with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. We have a new pitcher for the Nevada Cubs, the freshman Delaney Jones, coming in for Carsred. Coming in a very difficult circumstance here with the bases loaded and just 1 out. And to make things worse, this is the first pitching appearance of the season for Jones. So
Oh boy.
we'll see how she's able to work out of this jam. Or if you're a Perry fan, you hope she can't work out of this jam. And that Keneally's able to do some damage here with 1 out in the 4th inning. Again, bases loaded. Here comes the first pitch from the right-handed pitcher Jones. It is high and outside for a
Seems like she
ball.
has more velocity.
Erickson standing on third base. She doubled it.
And even though that was high, more accuracy.
Put things loaded for Keneally. Head in the count, 1-0 is Keneally. Jones will rock and fire. Pitch, low and in the dirt, 2-0.
If the Cubs in this
So
year,
Keneally
they
can
have
take
bases
her
loaded,
time here,
they
look
want
for the
four,
ball in a certain spot. If
With
she
the bait,
likes
so
it,
4 runs.
put a good swing on it.
Yikes. Did they switch pitchers?
Here
Yeah,
comes the
those
2-0 to Keneally. Swinging on this one.
Fly
Fly ball
too high.
out to
Drop it.
left field. Hitting
And
underneath
go.
it is good. We're going to try
Yeah.
and tag up here, and Aiden Erickson's going to come across the score on the sac fly RBI. So that will be a productive out for Perry as they gain
Now batting number
RBI
1, Taryn
and
Nehring.
run. And that will bring Taryn Nehring to the batter's box. She's walked both times she's come to the plate. She's also scored 1 run. 2 outs now in the 4th with 2 runners on. Pitch from Jones is going to be high and outside, call the ball. Perry left fielder. Swings right-handed. Gets comfortable in the box. Jones will rock and fire.
Oh,
And
that
Nehring
was a good
swinging at
one.
this one and fouls it straight back. Good swing that time. Evens things up
A little
at
higher.
1-1. Kerrigan on second base, Callie on first base. They each walked in this
They only
inning.
have 3 hits and we're only 5-1 because they
1-1
walked so
pitch
many.
from Jones. Swung at. It's going to
Drop
go
it.
up the middle for a base hit. We're going to send in Kerrigan. Throw to the plate from Martin. Too late. And Perry grabs another one. As Kerrigan scores The runners are able to advance as Nehring ends up on second.
Now batting number 10, Kate Shuttler.
Now we'll bring Kate Shuttler to the batter's box. So big inning here by the Jayettes as they've already put up a 4 spot, and 2 more runs could mean even more. With the base hit.
Yeah. Second stats really messed up. I feel like I'm not writing enough down, but I am.
She's also
Standing
grounded out
RBI
to the
hit
shortstop.
at that.
Jones back on the rubber. She'll rock and fire, pitches high for a ball. Counts 1-0. Jones, just like the pitcher before her, Karsra, has struggled with finding the strike zone on the first pitch of an at-bat. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This one's low and in the dirt. Count moves the 2-0.
Umpire's just like,
Lily Hollingsworth is on deck for Perry. She led off this inning with a ground out to the shortstop.
bat around.
Everybody's been able to hit in this inning. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Shuttler. It's high for a ball. Count moves to 3-0.
She gets walking bat around.
So 3-0 count to the 8th grader. With first base open. See how aggressive they want to be here. Here comes the pitch from Jones. It's over the heart of the plate. Called a strike. Looks like Shuttler was taking all the way. That would have been a fun pitch to tee off on if she had the green light. As the count moves to 3-1. Jones in relief, comes home with the pitch. This one rolls before it gets to the plate, and the bases are loaded for Perry.
Now batting number 12, Lily Hollingsworth.
As Kate Shuttler walks for the second time in this game. And Lily Hollingsworth
up for the second time in this.
She's 0 for 2 in this one. She's already made 1 out here in the 4th inning. Pitch to her, high for a ball to lead off the at-bat. Count is 1-0.
Walk.
2 outs here in the 4th inning. Bases loaded for Hollingsworth. Here comes the 1-0 from Jones. It bounces before the plate. It gets away from McGaffin. And Perry's going to add another run on the wild pitch. Coming around to score is going to be Callie Welchel.
Callie with the K.
So that opens up first base once again with a 2-0 count to Hollingsworth.
Scores on the road post. Jeremy advances to third. Kate Shuttler advances to second on the same pitch.
So 2 outs remain in the inning. Runners on second and first. Hollingsworth in the batter's box, the right-handed hitter. Here comes the pitch from Jones. It's to the hitter.
Yeah. Good job, Lily.
Lower shoulder, upper arm area.
Now batting number 2, Harper
And the
Peterson.
bases are loaded once again. So Peterson steps in. She walked with 1 out.
That's for a run.
Yeah.
Earlier in the 4th
Oh, no,
inning,
the hit by
getting
pitch
her
didn't, but there was a
second
wild
at-bat
pitch
of
before
this
that.
inning.
Oh, that's right.
Here comes the first pitch to the Perry second baseman. It bounces before the plate. Taryn Nehring is standing on third base for the Jayettes. She has an RBI single in this inning. Shuttler walked. Hollingsworth was hit. 1-0 pitch. Jones comes home. It's high.
That was a good one.
Check that. The umpire gives her the call. Count moves to 1-1. The pitch has been called the ball often tonight, but Perry's up 7-1 with the bases loaded. They decided to call it a strike now. Peterson swinging out the 1-1. Ground ball to Jones, the pitcher. She fires over the first, and they get out of this one without any more damage.
At the end of 4
Perry
innings.
does bring 5 runs across the
Comes
plate.
1,
They
Jayettes
leave
7.
3 on base.
Who's batting now?
Rizzy Carter.
Now batting number 2, Rizzy Cartridge.
22?
Yeah.
We go to the 5th inning. Perry leads 7-1. A big 5-run inning there for the Jayettes. Stepping in now is going to be Rizzy Karsla. She's pinch hitting here for Jones, the pitcher, who just came into this game. Rizzy, just a freshman, takes pitch number 2 at the at-bat to even things up at 1-1. Keneally looking to continue to limit this Nevada offense. Here comes the 1-1 pitch over the plate, called a strike. It's now 1-2.
If I don't write that down, I'll forget to sub her back in at pitcher, and they'll say 22's pitching. If they sub her back in, I'm going to
Sure
say.
they are.
Yeah.
Keneally ahead in the count to the freshman Rizzy Karsra. She swings at this pitch, flies out, and it will be a foul ball. Keneally hasn't collected too many strikeouts tonight, but she's still done a good job of missing back. Here comes the 1-2 pitch.
boy.
It's a fly ball out to
1-8.
right field. Aiden Erickson gets underneath it. 3 hands hits the play for out number 1 in the inning.
15, batting.
Olivia Huff.
Now batting number 15, Olivia Huff.
First baseman stepping in. She grounded out to Callie Welchel back in the 2nd inning at shortstop. Keneally has 1 out here as we sit in the 5th inning. Swinging at this one, ground ball to Callie Welchel.
Nice.
Backhand.
Nice.
They're out number 2. Good defense all around by the team. Callie Welchel had to go in the hole that time.
Now batting number 1, Jory Hillman.
And they get the 2nd out of the inning. As we go back to the top of the order, Jory Hillman steps in, who is 0 for 2. Came into tonight's game hitting .375. First pitch swinging, and she just barely gets a piece of it, and it flies back and off the fence for strike number 1. Second pitch of the at-bat, she gets Hillman swinging, who just barely gets a piece of it. It's now 0-2. Anyone can reach in this inning. Nicole Whitrig would come to the batter's box. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Keneally, way outside. And the left-handed batter.
Threw 101 last time.
Ball
She's only at
counts for
63.
1-2.
She's had so many quick innings.
1-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Keneally comes home. Line drive to
Callie.
Callie Welchel at shortstop. She fields it on him. Oh, fires it on first base. And that is the first
5 assists for Callie.
as the Jayettes get Nevada 1-2-3 in that
To the
inning.
middle of the 5th
No
inning.
hits, no
Cubs
runs.
1, Jayette
We
7.
go to the bottom of the 5th. Carry up 7-1 on the Raccoon Valley Radio Sports Network.
Leading off the
Softball
bottom of the
tonight.
5th
Tomorrow
inning.
night we'll be bringing you
Number
Parent
9,
baseball.
Kate Erickson.
As ADM will be in town for a clash between 2 Dallas County teams. You can join us for Perry Baseball tomorrow night right here on KDLS. First pitch scheduled about 7:30. Perry going to send the top of the order to bat here in this
Yep,
inning
aware.
as Jones is back out
how
for
you
the
don't play
2nd
them in
inning of
basketball.
work. First pitch swinging, and it's going to be fouled down the 3rd baseline for strike 1. Kate Erickson in the batter's box here. She walked in the 4th inning, ultimately scored a run. She's 0 for 2 overall in this game. Perry center fielder gets back into the right-handed box, and she's behind in the count 0-2. Jones comes home with the pitch, nearly hits her, and Erickson still tries to bunt it for a strike. That's one of those you just need to hold the bat head back and then jump out of the way or
It's alright, we're
just
not
wear it.
losing, so it's alright.
Instead of trying to
Win now.
use the
Might
bat
as well win
to
now.
stop it from
Yeah.
hitting you. Kate Erickson behind the count, 0-2. Jones comes home with it. It's low and in the dirt. Ball 1-2. You know Kate Erickson's not going to be scared of the ball by any means, as she does quite a bit on the wrestling mat. That's probably a little scarier than the ball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Erickson chases one low and in the dirt for a strikeout.
Now batting number 8, Aiden Erickson.
Second time Kate Erickson has struck out tonight. Aiden Erickson's now going to step in. She had a double with 2 RBIs back in our 4th inning. She comes to that, the right-handed hitter with one out in the fifth. Jones comes home, swinging at it is Aiden, and she'll swing through it for strike one.
It's all right.
Behind the count is Aiden. Here comes the 0-1 from Jones. It's high and outside, evens things up at 1-1. Perry used a 5-run fourth inning to extend their lead to 7-1. That's where we sit right now in the bottom of the fifth inning. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, low and in the dirt, and Aiden will take it for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Jones came in as relief for Carswell midway through the fourth inning. She's getting her first full inning of work here. Comes home with the 2-1. Fly ball by Aiden Erickson up to right center field. And this one's gonna drop. Crane was too late in getting to the ball. And this one
Now batting number
drops.
13, Kerrigan Welchel.
That's the second hit of the game for Aiden Erickson. The last one she hit a lot harder. That rolled all the way towards the right center gap. Led to a double. This one bounced right in front of the right fielder. Both base hits, though. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it. Kerrigan Welch will step it in. First pitch swing, and it's going to be off Mellon at third base. She fires the first pitch. She's throwing the dirt. And it's going to be reaching. And the official score is going to rule that one as a hit. That was a rocket that time that Kerrigan hit towards the third base.
Right into the chest.
Couldn't field it cleanly. And the throw was a little bit low.
Now batting number 5, Callie Welchel.
Callie Welcher will step in with runners on first and second and one out here in the fifth inning. Here comes the first pitch to Callie. She'll take it high and outside for a ball, 1-0. Callie walked back in our fourth inning.
Probably wouldn't have been a
She
hit
did
if
have
it
a
didn't bounce.
triple in our first inning that led to our first run of the game. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's inside for a ball. Counts 2-0. Callie can be patient here. Good hitters count 2-0 with 2 runners on base. Jones will rock and fire. Pitch high and out of the zone. Called the ball 3-0. Runners on first and second. Callie head in the count 3-0. Jones comes home with a pitch. This one bounces before it gets to the plate for ball 4. And Callie walks in back-to-back plate appearances.
Now batting number 4, Tina Keneally.
Keneally came to the batter's box back in the fourth inning with the bases loaded, and she hit a sac fly. If we were to get to that,
There's going to be a walk, but she got hit, so
Still hit like
game
that.
would be over.
that's the mark I was saying. It would have been a walk
Second in
anyway.
for Perry with the bases loaded. Bases loaded. Here comes the pitch from Jones.
That was right down the
And she'll
middle.
throw one right down the middle, and Keneally takes it for a strike.
She should have bombed
Infield
that.
is playing in. The first and third basemen
Walk off
are in
mercy
front
rule,
of their
grand
respective
slam.
bags. Second baseman and shortstop
tripping
are
over
also in. 0-1 pitch to Keneally. It's going to bounce before it gets to the plate, and Keneally's got to jump out of the way of that one. And it evens things up at 1-1.
Tina has a
Keneally was part of the girls golf team this past spring. Coach Kingsley was a big fan of her. He really wished she would have tried out for the team earlier than her senior year. Said she should. Good swing that time by Keneally, but she was just out in front of that one. And it will be strike number 2. 1 out, bases loaded. With Aiden Erickson on third, Kerrigan Welchel on second, and Callie Welchel on first. Jones getting ready to come home with the 1-2 pitch to Keneally. It's a freshman working against a senior. She'll rock and fire. Pitch low and in the dirt. It's going to get away. But Perry's not going to chance this one as Aiden stays at third base.
She batting?
On third.
Oh, Aiden.
2-2 count now after the pitch was in the dirt.
Come on, Tina.
Put in play. Here we go.
Bomb. Bomb
Here
it.
comes the 2-2 pitch. It bounces before it gets to the plate.
Oh, shit.
Aiden stalls out. Then she comes home and she'll still make it in. She started going, she stopped, then she decided to go, and it works out as the wild pitch leads to another Perry run. That will put runners on second and third as both of the Welchels were able to advance on the wild pitch. And it's now a full count to Keneally as Jones will rock and fire. Keneally swings through one. It was a good swing, but an even better pitch, and it will strike out Keneally.
Now batting number 1, Taryn Nehring.
Taryn Nehring come to the batter's box. She is 1 for 1 in the game. She's reached base in all 3 at-bats, 2 walks, and had an RBI single in our 4th inning. An RBI here could give her, with a base hit, give her 2 RBIs. Swinging at the first pitch, fouls it straight back, counts
Walk twice, 1 hit. That's what she's done.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Perry up 7 runs. As the Perry left fielder Nehring is in the box. Swinging right-handed. Jones comes home. Nehring swings, puts it in play right up the middle.
Perfect.
Scoring 1 will be Kerrigan. Scoring 2 will be Kelly as she slides in. And Nehring gets up at second base with a single and 2 RBIs. Great game for Nehring. She came into tonight's game 0 for, and she was looking for her first hit on the year.
What? That's 10.
Is it 8 after 5?
It's 10 after 5.
No, I think it's 8.
And they're calling this game with Perry up 9 runs. That's beyond interesting.
I don't know. That's 10. That's 9. Not.
But
They got the score wrong?
I guess they're just going to give them the victory.
What?
There's a first for everything. I suppose with Perry up 10 to 1, they were going to have a runner on second
Score
base.
right?
It's the score's right.
And that's going to be a Jayette victory. So we'll take a quick timeout. We'll get you some final numbers in this one, then we'll say goodbye to you. But it is a Jayette win.
I don't know.
1 here on the Rankin
What happened?
Radio Sports Network.
Well, I guess the new rule is 8 after 5 and not 10 after 5, which is what literally everybody thought. So it's going to be 8 after 5, but a 9-point win. Perry wins 10 to 1, and we will see you tomorrow as we head to West Marshall. I'm pretty sure they're ranked, so got to bring what we did today and probably even step it up to make it a big contest there. So thank you for watching. Perry wins 10 to 1, and we will see you tomorrow at 7 at West Marshall. Thanks for watching.